Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu-alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair agale, ni hao, churashumme, washmale. Ohaya Gonzaimas, Guten Morgen, Hola, Boyo, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hale Shuma Chatore, Ahlan Wasal, Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabi, Balli Kareaya, Hoj Galden and Ayon Sai, Huyamora, Chibato, Chihal, Kalimera, Khairutan, and a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning. I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. And with me, I'm really lucky that I've been joined by my wonderful co-host who happens to be Miss Sadaf Ali Khan. Hello Sadaf, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam. I'm really well and I am very excited as well because a new year is approaching and everybody has their to-do list. Either it gets completed or not, we all have that to-do list. Jo ke zyadatar, it always stays incompleted.
All right, I think, you know, even if it's incomplete or not, but, you know, for anybody to kind of think that, okay, you know, this is something that I would want to do in the next year.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the to-do list for you in 2025 and what are those things which you're going to leave behind in 2024?
Okay, I'll sleep more, I'll eat more. I will focus on my personal growth more because, you know, like sometimes we actually neglect ourselves.
Okay.
We're working so much, we're pushing ourselves too hard that, you know, like we put ourselves at the back end. So we have to prioritize ourselves as well. So self-care is the key point that I would be focusing in the next year, upcoming year.
Exactly. All right. So talking about myself, I think my father would be right in front of his television sets as well. My father thinks that I'm not working too much. I really need to kind of take advantage of this health that we have. And I think for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, whatever goals that you're going to set, we hope and pray that you will be able to achieve it. And there's only one thing to, you know, to kind of make you comfortable in knowing that you will achieve it. And that is that if you have a bigger goal, make sure that you're able to break it down into smaller goals. And then eventually you will see how much impactful it will be and how effective it will be for you to kind of attain that goal as well. But while we are at it, obviously today when I was traveling towards work, it was 7 degrees centigrade in the morning. It was really cold. You know, I really have to kind of layer up. You know, I had 2 layers on me and then the car heater was on. I was like, okay, now it feels a little comfortable. But for everybody who's out there, in Pakistan in particular, ladies and gentlemen, mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very cold in upper areas during next 24 hours. So please make sure that you do not go to the upper areas because it's going to be literally very cold. Patchy fog is likely across the plain areas of Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Upper Sindh in the night and morning hours. Frost is likely in Potoha region during morning hours. So anybody who's actually going to be driving in the Potoha region, please be very careful because the roads are going to be slippery because of the frost.
Exactly, and I have a news where former U.S. President Jimmy Carter dies at the age of 100. Jimmy Carter, the 39th U.S. President, passed away at his home in Plains, Georgia on Sunday at the age of 100. Carter served from January 1977 to January 1981, facing economic struggles and the Iran hostage crisis during his presidency. Despite a challenging term, he brokered the historic Camp David across between Israel and Egypt, earning the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his post-presidency humanitarian work. After leaving office, Carter became known as a better former president, dedicating his life to peace and human rights. He survived health battles in recent years, including before choosing hospital care.
All right, so may his soul rest in peace. And for anybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, you know, patience for the bereaved as well. But while we're at it, we're going to bring you back to Pakistan, where obviously our athletes have been doing phenomenal job because Pakistan junior squash champion Zain Ali Khan has secured a spot in the quarterfinals of the squash junior under-17 category squash championship. Zain Ali Khan defeated Italy's Alessandro Cirillo and South African player Jose Feast to reach the quarterfinals. Prime Minister Youth Program Chairman Rana Mashood Ahmad Khan has congratulated the player, coach, team and the nation on the victory. Players from 22 countries including Canada, Britain, Italy, Egypt and the US are competing in the event. In the second phase, Zain Ali Khan will participate in the British Open World Junior Squash Championship to be held from January 2nd to 6th next year in Birmingham. Pakistan's renowned welfare organization Muslim Hands and Prime Minister Youth Program are extending support to the young player. Well, that's fascinating for the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister Youth Program to extend their support. And not just that, I think the Muslim Hands has been doing a phenomenal job. They actually took the child football team to, I think, to another country to compete, and they actually did wonderfully well as well. They reached towards the semi-finals and then they got back. So I think everybody who's played a role in making sure that they're going to bring a lot of pride to Pakistan, kudos to you. Thank you so much for doing that for all of us.
And I have very exciting news here as well.
Yeah, it is. I know. It's more about traveling and airports and whatnot, right?
And this is about Pakistani airport, Gwadar International Airport. Oh, I actually broke it. The Gwadar Airport declared international, which is going to be so exciting, and it's going to be so good for the trade and economical perspective as well. So Gwadar Airport has been formally designated as an international airport by the federal government. Notifications have been issued by the FBR, which will enable the airport to handle both domestic and international flights. It will also have cargo transportation facility. The airport, which has been constructed in the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project, will help boost regional connectivity and trade. The airport had recently been inaugurated virtually by Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif and his Chinese counterpart Li Qiang.
Wow, it's wonderful. It's a great news as well, and I've always wanted to go to Gwadar finally. I think there'll be a lot of tourism over there because it's an international airport now. A lot of Chinese brothers and sisters have already been working over there. So I think for anybody who's out there, this is the time to go see and check Gwadar, because it happens to be one of the most amazing places. But while we're at it, see, you can only go and travel the world only if you are healthy, if you're fit, if you look after yourself. Now,
and you have money.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's debatable, okay? So there are ways, you know, with which you can certainly travel, even if you do not have money. All you need is the intent. But while you are at it, and where we are speaking about fitness, we do know for a fact that unfortunately in this region, in this subcontinent, there's this massive problem that people actually face a lot of, or probably have hypertension. Not just that, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of depression, there's a lot of problems, there's diabetes, you know, so
cholesterol as well.
Cholesterol and whatnot. And imagine that the kind of mutton and beef and pie and nihari and all of these items that we consume, unfortunately our heart health is at a decline. Now, in the previous shows, in the previous week as well, we spoke about it, how that, you know, there are malpractices out there, that even if unfortunately there's something not wrong with your heart, still you go to, you know, a doctor. They will actually, what they do is, it's not a very moral practice as well, it's very immoral, that they will actually put a stunt into you as well. Now imagine that there are
My father actually went through that.
Really?
He went through angioplasty, but unfortunately he couldn't survive. So off the camera I was talking about it, that unfortunate incident, and I think we need more awareness to that as well, because the cardiological issues, when my father actually faced them, I got to know that there are things which a layman needs to know. In the ECC, in the whenever you run these scans, sometimes it's not even prominent within the 24 initial hours.
Exactly.
So we need more awareness
so
on
obviously, you know, and now I think not just that. So imagine that, you know, before this day, you know, people of PT World or audiences of PT World are in 46 different countries. We never knew that there's any other alternate therapy which actually exists. Now imagine, what if I told you that you really do not need any sort of intervention, medical intervention, rather you need a therapy which can actually solve your artery blockage. I think that's something that we will be talking about. We are referring to it as enhanced external counter pulsation. We have the prodigy over here in the studios with us. He happens to be the ex-chief cardiologist at Benazir Bhutto Hospital. He is Dr. Mehdi Hassan. Hello sir, assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Wa alaikum, I'm fine.
So you've got a lovely smile first of all. Thank you so much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you over here. And first things first, sir, if we are to kind of speak about illnesses related to heart, where is Pakistan in terms of the percentage of the prevalence of the heart-related issues and illnesses?
Thank you, Shahzad.
Thank you, sir.
As far as the heart diseases are concerned, these are the most important and the #1 killer in the world. About 20 million people dies of this heart attack in US and other in worldwide, and in Pakistan about 4 to 5 lakh people dies of these heart attack and related diseases. The main thing which I come to know about our lifestyle, we don't walk, eat unhealthy, and don't control our blood pressure, sugar, obesity, high cholesterol levels. These are the basically risk factors which are responsible for these heart attacks.
Okay, if we talk about EECP, can you tell us more about it? How does it work? What do we need to keep in our minds while, you know, like going towards this?
Madam, the EECP is abbreviated as Enhanced External Counter Pulsation.
Yep.
It's basically non-invasive, non-surgical treatment for heart attack or heart blockages.
Okay.
Basically, in this, the blood supply towards the heart is increased, thereby developing new arteries,
Yep.
which is popularly known as natural bypass.
Yep.
And it is mainly responsible for the angina patients that may be after heart attack or even after angioplasty, after bypass operation, or even old age with many risk factors like diabetes, sugar, tobacco. In this, the EECP, the patient lies on the couch or on the operating table. And
Just like we're sharing on the screen as
yes,
well.
sir.
Please.
As you see that there are jackets which are wrapped around the lower legs, thighs, and about the around the back of the leg. And when the air inflate into these jackets, it push and pull blood towards the heart, and blood supply towards the heart is increased. Thereby, functioning of the heart is improved.
Wow, I think it's wonderful. Now, sir, let's speak about the efficacy and the efficiency of this very treatment as well, where we're talking about the EECP, the counter pulsation. Now, who do you think is the one who's eligible for this therapy, first of all, and how effective will it be for those patients?
Basically, the one patients who had been advised cabbage in bypass operation
Okay.
or angioplasty, and the patient is not willing for that.
All right.
Or
Manning.
Mananikrana, or even the doctors declare him or her as high risk patient,
All right.
or old age patients, patients with high risk like diabetes, hypertension, chronic kidney disease, severe backache, and old age. These are high risk patients, and patient is with high risk patient.
Exactly.
So, Dr. Sir, when
yeah.
was it introduced? Because when my father went for the angioplasty, we were not given an option. So, like, is this an option? Is it like, do people have general awareness about this? Because I am hearing it for the very first time today. So, do we need to spread awareness
It
about
was
it?
invented in 1990,
My God.
1990, and thousands of trials has been done on that, and it is very popular in US, Europe, China, and about 12,000 centers are in US, and our nearby country, India, there are more than 400 centers in India, and even Pakistan. It is popular in large cities like Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, and in Shifa International from 2002.
Yep.
It was working over
Now
there.
it's been shut down.
And I don't know. It's
I think you know. Well, it's okay. We will talk about it. You know, it's obviously they're progressive as well. But while we're at it, we're talking about it. Now, there's another condition to it. See, we have spoken about, okay, who are the people who are eligible for it. Now, imagine that I came across this case where this gentleman's 3 valves out of 4 were actually blocked. And, you know, certainly they cannot go for any surgical intervention, and it's because of the fact that already the 3 valves are blocked as well. Do you think that it's recommended for them as well? Because I believe that they are the best suited patients for this therapy.
Exactly. It's basically 1 hour session for 35 days.
Okay.
You have to come
Non-stop 35 days.
Or you have make 5 days a week for 7 weeks.
All right.
For 7 weeks, we have to complete 35 sessions, 1 hour daily without stunt, without surgical intervention, without any surgical opening of the chest.
Yeah.
Or all these patients are effective, and we have to.
And there's
What
no
is the
risk involved in
success
it.
No risk, no side effect, and patients
And what is
come
the
from
success rate of it?
success. More than 90% are successful. Patients come with chest pain, dyspnea, shortness of breath, palpitation. They recovered because the main source is blood.
Yep.
Blood supply is enhanced, as you know from the name, enhanced external counter pulsation. When we have to apply cuffs on the lower legs, the blood, more than 35 to 40% of blood which accumulates in the lower legs is pushed through push and pull phenomena, pull towards the heart, and the heart functions more efficiently and with the
Exactly, but sir, at this point of time, I think let's look at the other side of the picture as well. Now, imagine that this means that we are putting a lot of pressure on our heart, so to pump the blood as well. We do know that there's counter pulsation going on, there's push and pull and whatnot. But if somebody's arteries are rigidly blocked and they're not opening and the bypass arteries are not being generated, because there's alternate routes, and that's how beautifully Allah has actually created us, that there'll be other arteries which will come into play and there'll be a natural bypass as well. If it does not work, do you think that there'll be symptoms for the patient who's actually going through the counterpulsating therapy, or he or she will be in pain? Is it a painful therapy itself?
no, there are no side effects, no harms. Well, it's basically blood supply enhanced towards the heart, and
Exactly.
Patient's symptoms disappears within days.
All right. And in addition to this, sir, so I think to complete the picture over here, now imagine, that's just a layman example for people to understand that if my body or my heart is already pumping like 5 liters of blood or 6 liters of blood in an hour's time. Now imagine with this counter pulsating therapy, it will be pumping at least twice the amount of blood. And it's because of the fact that there's these pads on me which are actually putting pressure via air, and certainly, so there'll be a lot of pressure on my heart then, no?
No, it will also be effective for even normal patients, because as you know that the diet we are taking that is rich with cholesterol.
Yeah.
And most
Pie,
of the
nihari.
young people eating with the pie, niharis and these things, these blocked our arteries, and we have no symptoms.
True.
Even the arteries are blocked up to is 70% blocked.
All right.
So if someone comes for this EECP therapy, it will be beneficial for even our normal persons.
Wow.
So you're a
So even me and
cardiologist.
Sadaf can actually come.
Why not?
Wow.
Oh, we will surely come. But my
Surely.
question here, you're a cardiologist. If we talk about the ways how we can actually prevent heart diseases, what could they be?
You have to control our main risk factors. The risk factors are non-modifiable risk factors, which are aging, sex, or family disease. If someone has family disease, you have to check your cholesterol, blood pressure on a 6-month basis. Otherwise, you have to control our modifiable risk factors, which include you have to take a healthy diet, walk for 40 minutes a day without taking any food, or you have to control your blood pressure, sugar levels, obesity, cholesterol levels, and quit smoking.
Yeah, that's
And
important.
otherwise, you have to.
Exactly, which is why towards the end, Dr. Saab, just last 2 questions, that is that, whether EECP therapy is recognized by health authorities, and what will be your message today for people out there?
It is FDA approved.
Okay.
Yeah, the US FDA, Food and Drug Administration, approved and certified it, and American Heart Association, American College of Cardiology, European College of Cardiology, even Chinese College of Cardiology has approved and certified it. And the most of the patients with angina, and chest pain, even after heart attack, after bypass, after cabbage surgery, they complained of chest pain, and it's beneficial for them. Cardiomyopathy patients with low ejection fraction of 20%, they are beneficial. Heart failure patient, and patients with erectile dysfunction, male sexual diseases, they are also been beneficial for that.
Wow.
And my message about the awareness and प्रिवेंशन इज छोटी सी नज़म की सूरत में है कम खाना, वॉक और वर्जिश को मामूल बनाना, बीपी कोलेस्ट्रॉल घटाना, सिगरेट को मत हाथ लगाना, सेहत का ये दस्तूर सुहाना देखो यारो भूल ना जाना.
You wrote this yourself?
Oh no, it's one of my friends.
Oh, very nice. That's beautiful.
प्यार और मोहब्बत के पास भी मत जाना.
Oh yes,
I think
oh yes,
well,
that's the
Well,
message.
thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. It was lovely to have you over here on the morning show, and for everybody who's out there. See, it is our responsibility to bring you all such sort of information, and I think that it's a shared responsibility. You really need to make sure that you do your research as well before going to a doctor. Make sure that you have done your research, and only then See, it's not something that we are saying that it's a recommended treatment and everybody should go. I think everybody needs to play their role, make sure that you put in your own research and hard work as well. Before going to any doctor, it's not that we're recommending you that this is a therapy for you. But there's this unfortunate news which comes in from Korea as well, I think.
Exactly,
You've
where
noted that.
179 people got killed as plane crashes while landing in South Korea. At least 179 people are dead after a plane crash while landing at an airport in South Korea. And there were 2 survivors as well, if I'm not wrong, and they were pulled out from the debris and they got rescued. And our Prime Minister and President also, they were very saddened. They were deeply saddened by this plane crash which happened in South Korea.
It's a very unfortunate news which came in, and for all of those people who've lost their loved ones, you know, may their soul rest in peace and patience for you all as well. And in addition to this, you know, I'm going to take you to Spain now, where the Spain cultural revelers battle with eggs and flour in traditional festival. Imagine that the revelers known as elves and farinants, or those covered in flour, staged a mock messy coup in the Spanish town of Ibi, using flour and eggs as their weapons. Dressed in military uniform and wearing sashes, locals staged a fun battle around the village. Elves and Farinats goes back over 2 centuries, taking place every year on December 28th to mark the day of the Holy Innocents. The day kicks off with elves and Farinats taking over the mayor's office and establishing absurd laws as they confront the opposition with an explosion of flour and eggs. Well,
This looks like the cousin fight, the pillow fight taken
I
to
mean, I don't know,
another
it looks
whole
like-
new level.
looks like my birthday to me as well, because that's what my friends have been doing as well. But while we are at it, okay. Now this is the most interesting bit that Sadaf that we'll be talking about. Now imagine, did you ever think about where did the moon come from?
Oh,
And
I do.
Really?
Yeah,
where
even my son thinks
where
that.
did it come from?
I think it was a part of Earth, and when the Big Bang happened, and the
So you
planets
believe-
actually came into being at that time, this was a part of Earth which actually got torn off, and then it went there. Oh yes, I think I'm right. I
It's
think
okay,
I'm so
it's
right
okay.
about it.
It's okay, we'll get it sorted. Or not, or not. I mean, that was a very different theory. I've never ever heard this theory as well. But all right, in addition to this, imagine, did you ever think about, you know, why lunar eclipses take place? And then do you know that there's another category of planets as well, known as dwarf planets? And you know, so how many planets do we
You're
have
actually
in
tricking me into it.
No, but
Shahzad.
see, this is what entertainment looks like. Okay, but do you know the name of all the planets in our
Oh yes, I
solar
do.
system?
I
Okay,
do.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And there used to be a planet Pluto, but that becomes a
Wow,
dwarf
I think I'm
planet.
going to give you
I
this
know
one.
it.
I'm going to give you this one. But ladies and gentlemen, to talk about all of this, we're very lucky that we've been actually joined by somebody who happens to be a researcher from SUPARCO, and he is Mr. Zain Rahim. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, sir. Bahut shukriya. Thank
Sir, thank you so much. Sir, first things first, you know, where I asked her about, you know, where did the moon come from, and she said that, you know, it was a part of the earth, got separated. Is that true or not?
Partly I can say that
Partly,
it's
okay.
true, but the
Izzat rakhi
formation.
aapne hamari. Thank you so much.
But the formation theory of the moon says that it was a joint collision between Earth and there was another planet, not the Big Bang. Big
Yeah.
Bang was the creation of the universe.
Yeah.
But when we talk about the creation of planets and moons, the theory that says the formation of the moon is because the 2 objects collided, and after that the molten rocks and everything as that assembled as a moon. And it took around like millions and billions of years for the moon to come into that shape. So that is the theory of the formation of the moon.
All right, and in addition to this, you know, so we're even sharing pictures of the moon. So I'll ask my team to please make sure that you keep on playing that so that I can ask this question. So I feel this way, that there's only one face of the moon that we can see.
Yes.
Is there other side to the picture as well, or is it just the same?
That's really fascinating aspect of the Earth-Moon system. As you can see that the objects in the universe are spherical. Spherical means you can have the 360-degree view of an object if you go around for each degree. So, but for the Earth and Moon system, we see that every time we see only one face of the moon, although it's a spherical object, and that's because of the synchronous tidal locking of the Earth-Moon system, and it's because the time it takes for the moon to rotate on its axis basis is the same as the time it takes to orbit around the
kabhi
Earth.
dekh hi nahi pate.
And that is why this has become a tidal locking between the Earth and the Moon, and that is why we see only the one face of the Moon every time. And for like millions and billions of years, we'll see that.
I think I'm
if
going to
we
ask
talk
you,
about the landing on the moon, a lot of people say that it was being faked around, and there were a lot of theories about it. So when
Don't
we
go
are
there.
here and we're
Don't go
actually
there.
talking about
Let
it,
it be a
can you please shed
controversy.
light on it?
Yeah.
You see, there can be many aspects for the people like thinking for any thing that happens. But as for the moon's landing, humans have landed on the moons, and inshallah you will see in near future.
Yeah, I'll come down to that bit. We cannot give it away. It's a big news for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, because Pakistan soon will be doing something. So we'll come down to that bit. But very quickly, in addition to this, because I'm going to ask you all the questions that I've had all in me since my childhood. Now imagine, because I've lived in Karachi for 5 years, and they say that when there are high tides, it's because of the moon attracting the water.
Exactly.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true, and it
Yeah,
is
that's
like
a lunar pull.
sorry.
That's a lunar pull.
They are called
gravitational pull
lunar
of the
tides.
moon.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like the gravitational pull of the moon that basically attracts everything else that is there on the Earth, and we see that there's 97% of the water around the Earth, so that the more and it's mostly more easily get attracted by the gravitational pull of the moon. So that is why we have the two high tides and the two low tides within a span of 12 hours, and that's because of the gravitational pull of the moon.
Wow, that's wonderful. And so we keep on looking at lunar eclipses as well. What is this phenomena, first of all? And how often does it take place?
You see, the lunar eclipse or the solar eclipse are basically the alignment of the sun, the moon, and the Earth. Okay. So when we have a lunar eclipse, the alignment is something like we have the sun, the Earth in the middle, and then we have the moon. And that is how the Earth actually blocks the light from the moon, from the sun, and casts a shadow on the moon that we see as a lunar eclipse.
And when it's the solar eclipse,
and when it's the solar eclipse, is actually the moon blocking the light of the sun. And I must tell you, it's a very interesting fact is that the distance between the sun, Earth and the sun, and the distance between and the size of the moon, they are basically almost have the same ratio, and that is why the moon is able to cast to block the sun fully, so that we have a total lunar eclipse, and that is very amazing.
And how do you think that with these distances, there's a gravitational interaction in between them?
Gravitational interaction, sorry?
Yeah, so imagine, how does the distance between Earth and Moon affect the gravitational interaction?
Yes, it's because they are all orbiting around each other. So every object in the universe, we see that they attract as per the Newton's law of gravitation. Okay. So we see that due to their gravitation, we'll have the orbits and different variations in their orbit, axial tilts. So all because of that is due to the gravitational attraction between the objects, and we see that there is a gravitational attraction between the Earth and the Moon. Then there is a gravitation from the sun as well. So it's a very giant, big stars, and it has its own gravity, and all the planets are under the influence of that gravity and revolving around the sun. So it is all like that.
And despite the moon's orbit around the Earth, why don't we see eclipse every month?
It's because there is a tilt between the the orbit of the moon is basically tilted like 5 degree. Okay. So there is neither a perfect alignment every time. So for a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, you need to have a very perfect alignment in which all the three objects like the sun, moon, and the earth are perfectly aligned, and so somehow blocking the lights or casting a shadow. So that is why we don't have.
In how many years do you think that this perfect alignment actually comes into play?
It's not like years. It takes like the next lunar eclipse is about to happen in the 7th September 2025. Right. So it's like it's a total lunar eclipse that will be visible from Pakistan all around the country. So it's like you see there is a time because 27 days it takes around for the moon to orbit around the earth. So sometimes there is not alignment, but sometimes there are perfect alignment, chances of perfect alignment. So like it may take several years, or it may happen very quickly within a year that you can have a solar and a lunar eclipse one by one.
Which is why, in addition to this is something which I heard over news, and they said that in 2025 because we're speaking about alignment of the sun and the moon and the earth. Now let's speak about the alignment of all the planets in our solar system. What's that, and how is it going to take place, and how will it look, you know, for example, for all of us to kind of look in the sky? You know, will it be stars, you know, in one line, or how will it look like?
Yeah, that's going to be a very major astronomical event coming next month, and from 21st of January, and it will last for about like a month or so. And in that event, you'll see like 6 or 7 planets of the solar system that will be visible in the sky, and like 4 planets that
Like
are
this? Something like this?
the 4 or the 5 planets will be visible to the naked eye, and for like Uranus and Neptune, you'll have to have a small telescope and something like that to observe those planets, because they are very much distance from the Earth. But like
So we need
Venus,
to be on a mountainous area, or we can just watch it from the
no,
plain
not
areas
at all.
as well?
Not at all. You can easily observe those objects from your rooftop, and they will be easily visible from the south west direction to the east direction, and they will all lined up something like that. Like we have Venus, and then we have Saturn, and after some time the Jupiter and the Mars will come to the sky, and like after a few days the moon will join the planets, and you'll have a very pleasant view of planets and the moons all visible at
That's
once.
exactly why
Sometimes the
Sadaf would
moons
want to
are-
go onto a mountainous area ताकि नजदीक से नजर आए ना.
I really like mountains, but if we talk
Everybody
about
likes mountains,
oh,
yeah.
I love mountains. But if we talk about the moon, sometimes moon is really bigger, sometimes it's red in
Crown
color,
Cressida.
sometimes exactly. Sometimes they say that it's a super moon, it's a red
Yes.
moon, it's a blood red moon.
Yeah.
So why do they appear? So why does the moon appear larger sometimes brighter than the regular full moon?
बहुत फिल्में देखी. Blood red moon.
You see, super moon is not basically an astronomical term. It's
Yeah.
just a given term by
By
in,
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for super moons, and sometimes the moon comes very closer to the Earth, and it is a time when it is very closest in its orbit. So you see, the orbits of the moon are not exactly circular. They are oval shaped, and when something revolves in an oval orbit, it comes closer to that object and
then
moves
go
away from the object. So when the moon comes very closer, and it is a full moon at the this is known as the perigee. So when it comes to close point, and we'll have a super moon, and at the super moon we have the moon, which is usually sometimes 14% brighter and 13% larger than the usual full moon.
Exactly. Wow, that's wonderful, Zain bhai. I hope and wish that, you know, that in years when I was studying in school, I had such clear concepts as well. Thank you so much. Very quickly, in 2028, SUPARCO will be sending its first ever rover on moon, inshallah. And how is it going to look like? How will it work? What will that rover do? Please give us all the information.
Pakistan Space and Upper Atmosphere Research Commission, which is SUPARCO, is collaborating with China for the groundbreaking project, and that is to send a rover, an indigenous rover that will be developed by SUPARCO and Pakistan, and it is set to launch in 2028, and that rover will contain some scientific instrument that will measure the environment of a lunar environment, and will do some lunar exploration, and inshallah we'll that will be a very huge milestone for the Pakistan space program.
Inshallah. But thank you so much, Zain bhai, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn more about it, you can certainly, you know, go ahead and make sure that you try learning or clearing your concepts, because there's a lot of content available on internet and social media as well. While we're at it, while we were talking about space as well, now imagine, you know, this is one great news. You know, I wanted to connect it with this segment, and that is that massive water reservoir discovered in space. Okay, I don't know if people can actually believe their ears, but they're listening to. But astronomers have detected an enormous water reservoir orbiting a quasar more than 12 billion light years away. The reservoir holds approximately 140 trillion times the volume of the Earth's oceans, and is located near a supermassive black hole which weighs about 20 billion times more than our sun. NASA scientist Matt Bradford, who was involved in the research, said the environment surrounding this quasar is extraordinary as it is generating significant amounts of water. He went on to say that the discovery suggests that water was present even in the universe's earliest moments. Wow.
Oh, that's really
यानी
beautiful.
पानी
Now I
की
have
जंग ना हो, अगर ये पानी की लड़ाई ना हो, अगर ये हमारे नज़दीक और थोड़ा आ जाए.
Bilkul, or look at you. I could actually see I could see a lot of colors in the visuals. So I have a very colorful news here.
What's that?
Where the skies over Qatar's city were alive with vibrant colors during the last day of the country's 5th annual Hot Air Balloon Festival that ended its magical run on Saturday last. The festival featured 60 balloons from all over the world, captivating locals and visitors alike with their various shapes and themes. And it looks really beautiful if you see it. The final day offered appropriate weather to allow balloons to soar over sand dunes.
Look at the
wow.
look at the
It
balloons
looks so
as
beautiful.
well. You know, they look so interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Cappadocia and Turkey as well. So I think for all of those people who
Time
enjoyed it in
for
Qatar,
some
marhaba,
music.
marhaba.
It's
Yeah.
time
Some
for
music.
some
She happens to be a
music.
singer as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by somebody who started playing piano when he was 9 years old. He's 14 now. He's a great young lad, you know, very smiley and full of energy and whatnot. And he's going to certainly share those tunes of piano with us, which will actually enlighten our moods, you know, make us feel more great. And since we're getting into New Year's as well, so I think it'll be great. We're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Mr. Afnan, Aftab, Ahmad. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning. How are you, Mr. Musician?
I'm good, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wa alaikum assalam. It's wonderful to have you over here. Are these coffee beans on your hoodie?
Yes.
Do you like coffee too much?
Too much.
Too much?
Too
Well, that's
much.
great. Which coffee do you like?
Nice latte or cappuccino.
Nice latte.
Nice
and
latte,
cappuccino. I think
cappuccino.
this is something which always happens with me whenever I'm going to go get coffee, because I'm still not aware of how many different types of coffees are there. Now imagine that once I went into a cafe and I ordered espresso, it was this small cup, you know, with a black shot in it, and I was like, okay,
Really
I don't
hard
think
shot.
that I've ordered the right thing for me, but I think I'm the latte and cappuccino guy as well. But whenever you take a sip from your cappuccino coffee, what are the tunes that you would want to play then?
I like the
Probably
feel
some
of
nice
it.
calming tunes.
Nice and calming tunes as well. So you started playing piano at the age of 9.
Yes.
How did you come across a piano? Was it your parents who actually brought you an instrument and be like, Afnan, let's try this? Or were you always into contact sports as well? Jo bachcha bhi aa raha tha ghar mein, wo bach ke nahi ja raha tha Afnan se. You know, how was it?
No, I always liked music.
Okay.
And so I really wanted to learn piano.
Yeah.
So I told my parents I wanted the hobby. And I thought it was a nice skill to have.
And it's always great to have such a hobby, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Definitely.
So, you know, why don't we put you to test? Obviously, you certainly are not here to appear in an exam, but why don't you please go ahead and share something with us?
Yeah,
Play
sure. why
whatever
not?
you feel like playing.
And what are you going to play?
I'm going to play Kahani Suno.
Kahani
Oh,
Suno.
very nice.
I like it. Please, let's
Yeah.
go. Kafi Khalil.
Sorry, let me just put the volume up.
It's
perfectly
all right.
all right. You can take your time. Why don't you sing?
I want to do तुझ मिलना पड़ेगा समाना हुआ ये सुनो जफाएं सुनो मुझे प्यार हुआ था इकरार हुआ था इकरार हुआ था
Wow. Yeah, that was brilliant.
very
You made a
nice.
morning
आपको प्यार
special.
हुआ था?
Inshallah, let's see.
Oh, I like the motivation.
I think it's wonderful. But Afnan, you know, to my surprise now, imagine, because Alhamdulillah, my eldest daughter is now 11 or 12 years old. She's only, I think, 2 years or 3 years younger than you. But the kids these days are listening to very different songs. For example, I think one of the songs that they keep on singing is I don't know.
I haven't heard the
yeah,
song, but it
so
sounds
songs
interesting.
like these, and just yesterday I was listening to an English song in the car. We were going somewhere, and she was like, "Hey, you know what? This is my song. This is not your song." So they would always think about an Urdu song, which a dad would play, will be his song. So for you to kind of come across Kahani Sun and all of these songs, how do you find it? Do you think that it's great music that Pakistan is producing in today's time?
I think it is good.
Really?
I mean, like Coke Studio, for example.
Yep.
They are doing amazing.
Yep.
They're doing good songs. And like Kefi Khalil, artists like him.
Yeah.
It's very good because it's hard to make a new song that the mass like.
Yeah.
Like lots of
People like
English songs are probably more popular now.
Yeah, that's true.
But then now the rise of Pakistan songs and it's developing is good now.
I think
Apart
it's
from
wonderful.
Pakistani songs, what else do you listen to?
English songs as well.
Yeah?
Like in movies.
Which songs, for instance?
Like I have watched Top Gun and I
Yeah.
like the song Ain't
Yeah,
Real.
let's
I'm
go
actually
ahead.
taking you to the next song.
Yeah, let's
So
go
yeah.
ahead. Let's go ahead.
Please, let's go
play
play
it.
it,
Let's play
yeah.
the one from Top Gun. Wow, yeah, wow. I never
have a
knew that this
request
was a
here.
Top Gun song, by the way.
I
You know,
have
I've
a
heard the
request.
song, but yeah, please go
I have a
ahead.
request. Can you please play All of Me by
Sorry,
John
I
Legend?
don't know that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
See?
right, all right.
That's why you
No
don't
problem.
don't put in requests, personal requests as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know you're doing a great job, Afnan, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
That I think this is something that all of those parents who are out there imagine that you really need to make sure that you provide your kids with opportunities where they can express themselves, and it's more of an expression for Afnan as well. Very quickly. One last, I'm going to request you the Interstellar theme. I think that you can play that as well. So this is the kind of request that he's going to accept as well. So
Oh.
Afnan, go ahead, take us through. Take us through. Yes, I'm enjoying.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I
Wow,
watched
now you're
this
great.
movie multiple times. This is one
Yeah.
of my most favorites.
Really?
One of my
Why
most
is it that you
favorites.
never requested for it then?
It's actually one of my favorites as well.
What is it, Afnan?
Priorities, priorities.
You've done a great job, and we hope and pray that, you know, one day that I'm going to see you in Coke Studio as well, playing the piano for all of those amazing musicians, and not just them. I think world over, you know, the world is open for such arts as well, and this is exactly something, you know, because if it's your passion, please make sure that you continue to chase it, follow it, and be the best at it as well. And for everybody who's out there, there's one last request that we're going to make to Afnan, because this birthday wish that we're going to you know, make, you know, for this amazing baby girl who's going to turn 1 today. And we'll request you to play happy birthday. I think that'll be simpler for you, right? All right. So
Sayyida Sara Namood is turning 1 today,
Yeah.
and it's her first birthday.
So let's sing her the birthday song as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Sayyida Sara Namood, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Sayyida Sara Namood.
Oh yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you, all
Happy
lovely
baby
little
girl.
baby.
May you continue to
Okay.
make smiles on your parents' faces. May you continue to be as cute as you are. और जैसे पाकिस्तान में कहते हैं अल्लाह आपके नसीब बहुत अच्छे करे. And may your parents be able to give you everything that you ever deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, for everybody who's celebrating their birthdays today, happy Hajj Day to each and every one of you. It's going to be New Year's in a day's time. Please make sure that whatever promises that you're going to make to yourself,
and to others as well,
that you actually fulfill them as well, because this will certainly give you such sort of self-esteem that you'll be like, okay, मैंने ये कर लिया, मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. So until next time, look after yourselves. Thank you so much, Afnan, for being with us. Lovely to be, you know, listening to your wonderful tunes. For everybody who's out there, good morning. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Bye,
Bye
Sadaf.
bye. Bye bye to you too.